They called her Miss Velvet, not because she was beautiful or elegant, but because of her voice. A voice every man who met her described in the exact same way. Soft, slow, like velvet sliding over skin. She lived in an anonymous apartment somewhere in Guangzhou. No name on the door, no real photos online, just a profile with a single cryptic sentence: "I do not want your money. Bring me something that meant something to you." It was poetic, mysterious, and undeniably romantic, and for hundreds of men, it was a trap. Her social media page was a study in minimalism: white face powder, sharp black eyeliner, and deep red lipstick. The lighting was always dim, a soft violin always playing in the background. She presented herself as a lonely divorcee, looking for simple companionship, someone disgusted by men who only offered money. She preferred gifts with memories, she said. And so, they came. They brought childhood toys, love letters from ex-girlfriends, watches inherited from dead relatives, even the ashes of beloved pets, anything to prove their sincerity. They thought she was eccentric, a romantic soul in a cynical world. They had no idea they were walking into a crime scene. Inside her apartment, everything was wrong. The floors were covered in a cheap, gaudy red carpet. There were no mirrors on the walls. A single, harsh camera light was positioned above the bed, and it was always turned on. And then there were the rules. Never touch the curtains, never turn off the light, and never ever ask about the locked room at the end of the hallway. Some of them tried to ask. Some of them got curious. None of them were prepared for what was behind that door. From 2023 to early 2025, Miss Velvet is believed to have met over 260 men. She didn't take their money. She took their stories, their bodies, and something far more disturbing, their faces, because Miss Velvet wasn't recording for pleasure. She was recording for custom buyers on the dark web, clients who paid for something far more sinister than pornography. These clients didn't want intimacy, they wanted fear. They wanted to watch a man's slow, dawning realization that something was very, very wrong. The men only discovered the truth when the videos were leaked online. Grainy footage, low light, their entire bodies exposed. But the camera never focused on Miss Velvet. In every single video, she remained completely covered in a full black silk robe, gloves, and a mask. And her voice, that calm, almost motherly whisper, giving instructions: "Look at me. Keep your eyes open. You must not blink." At first, the internet dismissed it as another bizarre fetish scandal. That is, until a forensic student noticed something horrifying. The backgrounds in the videos weren't the same. The wallpaper changed. The bed frame was different. The distance from the camera to the subject shifted. This wasn't one room. These were multiple apartments. Online sleuths began tracking recurring objects in the videos: a cracked porcelain lamp, a dented metal chair, a dark stain on a carpet, each appearing in different locations. Someone mapped them out and realized there were at least 7 distinct filming locations. Who was this woman? How did she move between cities so easily without being noticed? Then one night, an anonymous user uploaded a final, chilling message to a Chinese forum: "She doesn't live alone, she never did. Watch the reflections." Someone slowed down the footage. At minute 2:53, as one of the victims turned his head toward a bedside lamp, the polished surface caught it. A reflection. It showed a second figure standing completely still in the corner of the room, motionless, wearing a hospital gown. At first, people thought it was a glitch, a shadow, maybe a digital edit. But when users enhanced and brightened the footage, the shape became terrifyingly clear. A thin, pale figure. Bald, eyes wide open, unblinking. He wasn't just standing there. He was restrained. Metal cuffs around his ankles, his arms strapped tightly to his sides. He looked like he'd been placed there deliberately to watch. Within hours, Chinese forums exploded with speculation. Who was the silent man? Was he a victim? An accomplice? The questions were endless. 2 weeks later, the police received a tip. A neighbor in an old residential block in Nanjing complained of a rotten, sweet smell leaking from apartment 302 and the sound of a violin playing nonstop even at 3 a.m. They broke down the door. What they found wasn't an apartment anymore, It looked like a movie set. The same red carpet from the videos was laid over concrete floors, now stained and torn. 3 tripods were aimed at the bed. On a small desk sat 7 labeled hard drives. Apartment 1, Apartment 2, Warehouse, Clinic, Room 7, Mother's House, Basement. A camera was still recording. And in the corner was the figure from the video. A man in his early 30s. His eyes were dry and bloodshot, held open with tape. Thin tubes fed him liquid nourishment. He had no tongue, only a stitched scar where it used to be. When officers approached him, he couldn't scream. He only turned his head towards them as tears fell silently down his face. He was her first victim. His name was Liu Wen, 29 years old. He had disappeared in 2023 after responding to an ad. Need someone to pose as a photographer as assistant. Good pay. Discretion required. He never came home. Investigators searched the rest of the apartment. Behind the locked door in the hallway, they found freezers. 4 of them. Not for food, but morgue-style body storage units. Inside, they discovered 4 decomposing bodies, all male. Some were missing their eyes. Others were missing hands. But the bathroom held the worst discovery. 42 glass jars. Each one contained something preserved in a cloudy yellow liquid. Fingers, ears, pieces of skin, and faces. Human faces removed in clean ovals like masks. Some jars were even labeled with the objects the men had brought as gifts. Old watch, Chen. Toy dinosaur, Zhang. Wedding ring, unknown. This was no longer a scandal. This was serial murder disguised as seduction. But where was Miss Velvet? Gone. Building security cameras showed her leaving just an hour before the police raid. Her head was shaved. She wore no makeup, dressed in a delivery uniform, and carried a violin case. She simply vanished. Days later, a file was posted anonymously to a foreign dark web forum. It was a video. No face was visible, just her voice. That same slow, velvet tone. You looked at the wrong person. You thought I wanted money, attention, fame. No. I only collect what people hide the most. Shame, secrets. Their real face when they realize someone sees them completely. A soft violin began to play. Then she whispered, "There are 53 more tapes, 11 different cities, and I am not done." The screen went black. Ever since, rumors have swirled. Some say she escaped to Cambodia. Others claim she was killed by her buyers who wanted to erase all evidence. But the most disturbing theory came from a cybercrime investigator who analyzed her voice. He said, "Her breathing pattern, it isn't natural. It matches patients with severe lung damage or throat reconstruction, meaning she may not be a woman, not even fully human sounding anymore. Someone, or something, rebuilt her." The tapes are still circulating today on the darkest corners of the internet. The victims' faces are blurred, except hers. Because in every video she remains the same, motionless, covered in black silk, whispering in that velvet voice, "Look at me. Keep your eyes open. You must not blink." And nobody knows. If she's still watching, thank you so much for watching. If this story fascinated you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the unknown. Stay safe out there.